Hey, it's the coach Laurie McNaughton coming to you again with another short video. This one is specifically about hiring. I see so many people make so many mistakes that cost them an enormous amount of money in the hiring process. Hiring is part science and part art. On here you see I said hire slow, fire fast. On the other side, hire fast, fire slow, which is typically what I've seen happen too many times with small businesses, especially because you know, hiring takes time, it takes thought, it takes some thinking through the process, and many people just want to speed through it. I remember working with a client who was looking for a salesperson for his company, and I said, okay, so here's the system. We're going to use this 4-hour hiring system to gain as many candidates as we possibly can, and then weed through them to find the best of the best. I came to see him the next week, and he said, I already found a guy. And he went on to explain that this guy had all kinds of experience and in his industry, and this guy was like in his mid 40s. I don't know, all kinds of red flags were going off for me, and I tried to slow him down and convince him that he shouldn't hire this guy. It should take some time, and we'll work through this process and make sure that he gets somebody that's going to hit the ground running. And well, he decided to ignore me, and he hired this guy, and he just became a huge problem for him. He was around for 4 or 5 months. Should have been there for like a week. And yeah, so I want to make the point of how much this actually cost him, because first of all, most business owners think, well, it's just the time that's involved. It's just, I need to write an ad, put an ad out, that has some cost to it. And then I need to interview them, and that has some time involved with it. But they don't really equate, first of all, what that cost is to them in their own time. But then what's the cost to them in lost productivity, lost opportunity? I read all kinds of different information about this that would suggest that if this person, for instance, makes $50,000 a year, and you hire this person, keep them around for 3 months, that's essentially what the overall cost would be to you, to your company. Not just in time, but in lost opportunity, lost productivity, people training, all the stuff that goes involved with that. So, and here's the thing that I would want to make this point really, really clear, and that is that hiring can be the difference between success and failure. If you hire somebody in customer service, for instance, who doesn't like people, how many customers are they going to frighten off or get rid of before you actually get rid of them? Or if you hire somebody whose job is to go out and develop business for you, outside sales or whatever the case may be, and this person doesn't have the right aptitude and the right skills and the right personality to do that, what does that cost to you and your company? So my suggestion is that you just, first of all, you need to adopt some kind of a system for hiring. You need to be able to not just vet resumes, because resumes, man, there's companies that help people write resumes now. And there's people also that help coach people on how to be interviewed. So you've got to be able to get below the surface with that. And, some of the things that are important would be to, have a conversation with them about the lessons that they've learned in life, and where did they come from, and what value, and, how did they shape them as a person, so that you can start to understand, a little bit more about these people. And you'll be surprised at what people will tell you when you start to dive into understanding more about them, because they'll let it out. Like, I read a story about a guy who was interviewing somebody, and asked him, they had an in-depth conversation and an interview, and the guy got to this question about leaving his previous position, and he had punched out his manager. That would probably be a good thing to know before you hired him. In fact, I remember back in the early 90s when I was managing a business unit here in Edmonton of a larger company, and we had hired this guy. I didn't hire him. I was just his manager. My boss had hired him, and at one point he had said some things that to me were completely untrue, and we started having a different kind of conversation. And at one point he told me that he had punched out his previous boss and this guy was a big guy, so you know, no, I certainly didn't want him trying to punch me out. You know, then there's a sort of a funny story that I read, and I'm going to share this book with you. And the guy said that, you know, this guy just wasn't working out. So finally he said, you know, we're letting you go. And the guy was, you know, hey, why are you letting me go? What? And he just insisted. And the guy was trying to resist saying anything. And finally he said, the reason I'm letting you go is I hired your resume and I got you. So the interviewing process is probably one of the most important part, and then following up on their references and following up on previous people that have been employed by, or they've been employed by. And one of the questions that you need to ask is, when I call your previous, now this isn't, if he's still working someplace, you're obviously not going to call their manager, but a previous manager, and say, when I call this manager, what is he going to say about you? And you say, when I call, not if I call, when I call, so he knows or she knows that you're going to actually call this person and ask them the question, and then they're way more likely to be completely honest with them. And again, now you know, but you need to have a lot of candidates, so you need to understand how to attract good candidates. So writing an ad is imperative. Writing an ad that attracts the kind of people that you want to have is imperative to getting the right people. So I would highly recommend that you pick up and read this book, Who, by Jeff Smart. Solve your number one business problem. You can see by the tabs in here that I got a lot of insight out of reading this book and understanding hiring. I would highly recommend you pick up and read this book before your next hire. And make it a good hire, because it is the difference between success and failure. Again, thanks again. It's Laurie McNaughton, the coach. You can reach me at laurie@lauriemcnaughton.com, and or go to my website, lauriemcnaughton.com, and you can reach me through the website if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to answer for you. So again, thank you again. Have yourself a great day.